Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so very much, kids, for coming and sharing with us. We appreciate it greatly. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to call Eric Kaiser, who's general manager of the country club, up front.
Before you do that, thank the Midland Orchestra so they can...
I just did.
Oh, thank you.
Susan just came up and said, before you do that, thank the Midland Orchestra. Where was Susan when I did that? Eric?
Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. So first of all, on behalf of the entire staff and ClubCorp, we want to welcome everyone out to tonight's celebration. It's amazing to see such a great turnout. I know a lot of hard work has gone into tonight, so the club is very proud to be a part of this celebration. As you know, the club is celebrating its 40th year this year, so we have a lot of great things planned. We look forward to continuing the great relationship that we have with the town of Trophy Club and the Mud. And we hope that everybody is able to enjoy this evening and take advantage of all the great things that have been put together. So with that, I will turn it back over to our mayor, Mr. Nick Sanders. Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed this evening. For some of us, it is reminiscing about the past. And so I'm going to go off script. I know Susan's going to be mad at me for this, but I'm going off script. Everybody that has lived in Trophy Club greater than 30 years, raise your hand. Now look around the room. All right, now, you know, I'm not going to start back at 5 years and go forward. 30 was where I started. All right, everybody greater than 36 years, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3 people. 4 people. 37 years, raise your hand. 38 years, raise your hand. And 38 years is it, Betty? 37, Betty says, and Liz, how long? Liz thinks she's lived here 38 years, but she says you were here when she moved here. So Dean and Betty Henry are right here up front. Raise your hand and let's give them a round of applause for being here the longest. This event could not have happened without the generous support of all of you in buying tickets and for some generous sponsors. And first of all, I would like to recognize that Centurion American, the developers of the Highlands of Trophy Club, was our key sponsor. And is Alvin here tonight? He is not. No representative from Centurion here, all right. And Republic Services, which is the trash waste company. Is anyone here from that organization? No? All right. So your alcoholic beverages, wine and beer, are being provided by Republic. I wanted to say Republic Beverage because there is such a thing as Republic Beverage, but Republic Waste. All right. So next time you see that trash truck come by and pick up your trash, remember that alcohol you consumed tonight was part of it. All right. We also had a generous contribution from Beck Ventures, the Beck family, and I don't believe we have a representative from them tonight, and a contribution from Encore Electric. So the fact that you turn your switch on and lights come on, you're helping them support us also, and we're glad to have their support. We also have had the support of not only the country club, where Eric went, who has helped us with all of this, and we really appreciate their support. They're celebrating 40 years of being in existence, and so is another organization in the town, and that is the Trophy Club Municipal Utility District. So they have an exhibit over here, and everybody that has served on the Trophy Club Mud Board, raise your hand. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 back here. Pete Ripke. Maybe I missed 6, Connie. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for that participation. what's significant about our 30 years is how that came to be. It happened because of some key individuals that wanted to have a residential community, have a quality of life that surrounded a golf course and a country club. And they had a vision, and that vision required the town of Westlake to de-annex the property. And that happened. I talked to several of the people that actually served as aldermen of Westlake, invited them to come. They had conflicts, but they were there when they had to vote to say, yes, we'll let you split off from us. And I hope you had a chance to look at some of the front display about our history of Trophy Club and how we got our start. I tell people proudly that Trophy Club was the first gated residential community, gated, I think I should say, in the state of Texas. Did you know that, Tan?
Yes.
All right. So I remember the first time I came out here that there was a little gazebo out front of Trophy Club Drive, and there was a little arm that had to come up to come in. So I don't know if y'all obviously don't remember that, but that's a long time ago. That's back when I had black hair. But anyway. But it is about quality of life, and that's what we celebrate tonight, whether you've been here less than a year, which I've met some people that have just moved here, or you've been here 37 years. It is about quality of life and sharing things with our neighbors and doing things that we love. And so I really appreciate that. I see that Alvin Jackson made it in, and he's with Centurion American. Alvin, we want to thank you for your support. And Centurion, and please relay that to Madad for helping us with that. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask one of our MUD directors, Jim Thomas, to come up and just say a few words to you. Jim, where are you? There you are.
I love how he said, say a few words. Those of you that know me real well know that that's impossible. Before I get started talking about Mudgeon Trophy Club, if anyone desires a really detailed history of the Mudgeon Trophy Club, it's actually written in a handout over in the booth over here. And if you'd like to have a very detailed history of our fire department, which is owned by the Mudds, it's over in Danny's booth over in the other room. So if you want a lot more information than I'm going to say, it's available for you. In the early 1970s, a developer, Johnson Loggins, entered into a relationship with a professional golfer named Byron Nelson. And they wanted to build a golf course community called Trophy Club. 5 mud districts and a master mud districts were planned. In the early days, construction was totally in the boundaries of Mud 1, which is basically the front entrance to Trophy Club. Mud 2 was the area over by the high school and on the creek, and Mud 3 is the area over by Harmony Park. Muds 4 and 5 were going to be the areas that today are the pit. They were going to be subdivided into those two. On October 7th of 1975, the registered voters of Mud 1 in the first ever Trophy Club Mud election approved the Mud. They elected 5 board members. And listen to this. They approved a $12 million bond to be placed debt on the residents. Take a guess what the vote was. 3 yeses, 0 no's. $12 million bonded indebtedness. First one ever passed in Trophy Club. Construction began almost immediately on the Mud's first water well and elevated storage tank. Both, by the way, are still in place today and operational. And a small wastewater treatment plant. As soon as possible, the Mud finalized a contract to sell water and sewer to its very first commercial account. This building, Trophy Club Country Club. In the early days, we gave our affluent to the club into a pond for them to use for their golf courses and greens. Today, we charge them for that affluent as a revenue stream for the Mud. The years thereafter was just a flurry of activity. The wastewater treatment plant was upgraded a whole bunch of times. 4 more water wells were constructed. 2 large water storage tanks were built. Mud 1 initiated a contract with Fort Worth to buy water from them. There was a thing called the Roanoke Volunteer Fire Department. They provided the first engine and the first ambulance, for this area in Trophy Club. As we started to grow, that turned into the Trophy Club Volunteer Fire Department. And then Mud 1 took over the control of that thing and started buying equipment for it, a building for it, and a couple of trucks for it, and it became the Trophy Club Department. When the town was incorporated, but we days, the MUDs could not do EMS ambulance services. It was not allowed. And so when the town was incorporated, it actually took over EMS services, and the MUDs continued to do everything else. The first fire station was erected and shared with a cable TV provider, and all of the equipment with a small fire truck and an ambulance. As we grew, a newer fire station was put up, and our first 2 MUD-1 fire trucks were purchased. IBM and Westlake approached MUD-1 about providing services to what is known as the Salon Complex, and that area was eventually annexed into MUD-1 and remains so today. Our MUD building, as you know, over on Municipal Drive was constructed, and by the way, the street over there, named Waterworks Drive, was changed to Municipal Drive. In 1990, MUDs 2 and 3 were consolidated, and in 2000, MUD 2 became an equal partner in the MUD Master District with MUD 1. In 2009, MUDs 1 and 2 were consolidated, and the MUD Master District was disbanded. During this time frame, all kinds of fire equipment was purchased. We had a number of different managers, and in 2011, our new fire station that you know it today was actually opened with Chief Thomas being our chief. By the way, many of you don't know this, but very recently we had just purchased a state-of-the-art new ladder truck that will compete in functionality with anything in this surrounding area. The town also is committed to a new state-of-the-art ambulance, so needless to say, Chief Thomas is one happy camper right now. In 2002, a multi-million-dollar upgrade was made to the wastewater treatment plant, and at that time, it was designed to cover all of Trophy Club's future needs. But right after that happened, the state agency that controls these things stepped in and downsized the thing so that it actually could not accomplish that. In 2004, we entered into the first ever services contract with the town, for contractual services provided. And over time, our pit area, those of you that live there, and the formulation of a major financial contract between the developer and the MUD Master District came into being. The payments to the MUD from the developer for access to water and sewer services eventually paved the way in 2009 for the consolidation of MUDs 1 and 2. As the pit developed, a second elevated water tank was constructed by the town, and then maintenance on it was contracted over to the MUD. So as we get to the end of this tale, there was continued major expansion of homes within the pit area, eventually requiring an extensive upgrade to our wastewater treatment plant. In the process of obtaining state approvals, with Westlake's backing, its developer of the new shopping and residential homes that will reside within the MUD's boundaries in Westlake actually sued the state agency last year to try and prevent MUD 1 sale of bonds to construct this plant. Thank goodness, first week of December, the court decided 100% in favor of MUD 1. We've actually begun the sale of government bonds and we'll do revenue bonds this month, and we expect to start construction on that plant in May of this year. So, in closing, going forward, I am truly, really excited to say that the MUD 1 board and the mayor and town council are now meeting regularly and working closely and cooperatively together to satisfy the needs of all of the residents of Trophy Club and our customers over in Salon. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask you to please give your attention to Denton County Commissioner Andy Eads, who has a few words to say. And I just want to say a few things about Andy before he talks. What I have learned over the past year since Andy got elected is that he's a man of integrity. He's a man who has worked hard for this community. If you were not aware of that work, he worked hard to get funds for the Bobcat Boulevard that went out to 377, which is significant for our town, to get us funds for the roundabout, and has in fact set aside funds to help us with the loop road if it ever happens. And he's always there when we need him. So Andy, we thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for those kind comments. And it's a pleasure to be here this evening and to represent Trophy Club as one of the 17 cities, and I'm pleasured, and it's a great honor to represent Trophy Club on the Denton County Commissioners Court. And this week, our Commissioners Court, they're so excited, and all of us could not be here tonight, but they all, Judge Mary Horn and the rest of the county commissioners, send their greetings and happy birthday wishes. And before I go any further, I do want to say thank you, Susan Eskin, wherever you are. Thank you for all your, let's give Susan a hand. Thank you for everything she's done to put tonight on. I'm going to quickly read this proclamation. It's a proclamation honoring Trophy Club Texas. Whereas in the 1980s, a dedicated group of residents went through the arduous process of incorporation of Trophy Club Texas. Whereas the process of incorporation required the release of the area of Westlake's ETJ, as well as approval of the Denton County Commissioners Court to hold a vote for incorporation. And whereas in 1985, the vote for incorporation passed with 80% of the vote. And whereas in 1985, Trophy Club residents elected Jim Carter as its first mayor. And whereas under Jim Carter's leadership, the first town council began developing Trophy Club's first comprehensive master plan, and in 1988, the first bonds were sold to pay for Trophy Club Mud 2 and Trophy Club Mud 3. And whereas during the 1990s, Trophy Club continued to grow in population, and in 1992, the comprehensive land use plan was prepared by the Planning and Zoning Commission. And whereas the 2000s in Trophy Club were marked by building parks, opening Byron Nelson High School, initiating economic development, and establishing a master district to combine Trophy Club's Mud 1 and 2. Whereas the town of Trophy Club has benefited by the contributions and visionary leaders of mayors Jim Carter, Marshall Engelbeck, Scott Smith, Connie White, and Nick Sanders. And whereas over the years, Trophy Club's development has continued the building of parks, schools, golf courses, and housing developments, as well as a focus on economic development. And whereas a high standard of living has become central to the Trophy Club culture, building together a variety of community elements that deliver an outstanding quality of life. Whereas with a focused mission, strategy, and values, Trophy Club elected officials, resident volunteers, and town staff work to ensure that Trophy Club governance remains solid and with a purpose to make Trophy Club's mantra of a great place to call home. Now, therefore, in honor of the 30th anniversary of the incorporation of Trophy Club, the Denton County Commissioners Court is hereby proclaimed January 17, 2015 as Town of Trophy Club Day in Denton County. Thank you so much and happy birthday.
It is indeed my pleasure to introduce our next guest, and that is Dr. Karen Rue, Superintendent of Northwest ISD. Dr. Rue.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be here tonight. It's an exciting night, and I think there's something special about a community that pauses to reflect and to celebrate your accomplishments. Trophy Club has been such a strong support of public schools and Northwest ISD over the years. And in fact, you've always had a board member on the Northwest ISD board, and you have one represented here tonight in Lillian Roush. We're so glad you're here as well. I think back to my own history of being part of our greater Northwest ISD. And it's a pleasure tonight to meet people I met on that very first year. I see name tags with 6s and 3s and 36s combined, and I can claim almost 10 years now in our community. And think about the accomplishments, because you do what you do to support schools in our district. Between Lakeview and Beck, Medlin coming in after that, and then that crowning star in Byron Nelson High School, you've got such a strong legacy. And you're celebrating tonight what that legacy means to you and your community. But I'll tell you what else you're doing. You're preparing those who will come next with a great deal of pride in what they have accomplished together. I take such pleasure in being a part of a community that knows that what we do every day prepares our kids, our grandchildren, our community for its future and what comes next. It's a great thing to be a part of growing a community together. You know that. You're celebrating 30 years of growing a community together. And I'm taking great pride in knowing that for the next 30 years, you're going to be doing the same thing, growing Northwest ISD, growing what our children get to do, and knowing that you're building a future for them. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of the work you do on behalf of your community.
I think what I just heard is that Karen agreed to be here another 30 years. Is that what y'all heard? Karen's husband is shaking his head no. All right, well, sometimes my hearing is a little bad and I hear the wrong thing, but anyway. It is my pleasure to introduce to you someone who I know dearly loves the state of Texas, dearly loves working for the people of the state of Texas, and loves the fact that he can do things to make our lives better. He comes to us with how many years now in the House?
8 years.
Just starting the eighth?
Starting my 5th term.
Starting his 5th term as our House of Representatives member in Austin. Probably just drove back today or maybe last night. They've already started the next legislative session. And what I have learned is that Tan is a person that you can go to. He'll listen to you about your issues. He'll help guide you through the politics of state politics and help you however he can to make our quality of life better. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you Representative Tan Parker. Tan?
Thank you, my friend. Mayor, thank you. That was much too kind. Thank you for the invitation and for being here. And I want to just thank Susan again for organizing this event. And let's give her a big round of applause again one more time. Well, everybody in this room knows how extraordinarily blessed you are to be here in Trophy Club. And what an amazing 30 years for the town. What an amazing 40 years, obviously, for the Mud. An amazing 40 years, obviously, here for the club. And what's so special, I think, is that everyone in this area knows about this community, certainly. Those that live, obviously, in Fort Worth, those that live northern parts of Denton County, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But what I don't think people recognize is how well regarded and respected Trophy Club is across Texas. I've got people that will come to me. I'll be in New York, or I'll be on business. I'll be on the West Coast, and people talk about Trophy Club Texas. So it's a very extraordinarily special place. The infrastructure that's been built over the last 40 years, infrastructure obviously from your road infrastructure to your water infrastructure, to your incredible education infrastructure with the Northwest ISD, and this incredible economic development all around you. You're truly in a very blessed place, and one that I hope you all realize just how special it is to be a part of. It's my great honor and privilege to represent the community in the Texas House, and I've done it now for 4 terms and now starting my 5th term. And I want you all to know that my door is always open as you all plan for the future. As you look to the future, I want you to know that I'm always here to assist you in any way. I also want you to know how blessed you are because of the men and women that represent you. I want you to know how blessed you are to have folks at the town the wonderful mayor and council, the wonderful directors at the MUD, all that work very closely with my good friend Andy Eads at the county level, and of course with Dr. Rue at the educational level. And one of the things that makes it so unique, guys, is that level of coordination and collaboration, because in a lot of communities across Texas and across the country, you don't have that level of support at all levels of government. And again, that's been, I think, part of the recipe of success that you all have had as a community. So again, I want to just congratulate you on this wonderful birthday. 40 years, obviously, is extraordinary for the MUD. 40 years is extraordinary for the club. And 30 years for the town, again, is just exceptional. On behalf of the great state of Texas, I did, in fact, do 3 resolutions for each of the entities. So feel free to take a look at those. And again, just recognizing the excellence that you all have achieved working together. So again, if I can ever be of any service to you and your business and your individual life, and obviously serving the community at a broader level, never hesitate to contact me. God bless. Have a great year. Thank you so much. Happy birthday.
Eric, you want to come up and get a photo with Tan?
Get Jim from the MUD.
And then we're going to get the MUD. Jim, is Jim Moss here?
All right.
Is Jim Moss here, the president of the MUD, or is he gone? Other MUD directors, if y'all want to come up and we'll get a picture with Tan, if you don't mind, real quick.
There we go. That's great.
All right. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you. Oh, sir. All right. Tan, good to see you. Should we get 2 and 2? What should we do here? Sure. Let me come over here. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Still doing okay? Finished? Okay, we're done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tan, very much. Thanks for coming. At this time, I'm going to have Councilmember Jim Perro come forward. We have a proclamation that the town passed Tuesday night at its council meeting, and if you would give him your attention at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Town of Trophy Club, Texas. Proclamation 2015-01. Founders Day 2015. Whereas Articles of Incorporation for the Town of Trophy Club were filed on January 19, 1985, and the year 2015 will mark the 30th anniversary of the formation of the Town of Trophy Club. And whereas, since the town's incorporation, the population has grown from 1,320 to approximately 12,011, and whereas observance of the occasion provides us the opportunity to express the appreciation our community feels for the many valuable contributions made by the town's founders and volunteers who worked consistently and successfully to improve the quality of life for the members of our community, and whereas many of the founders of this community, as well as current residents, contribute to the well-being and welfare of fellow citizens by giving tirelessly of their time and energy without desire for recognition or remuneration or personal gain, and whereas the town has progressed immeasurably in the past 30 years, particularly in the area of residential growth, quality leisure and sports amenities, road and drainage improvements, health and environmental standards, and is recognized as one of the safest communities in the Metroplex, thanks to individuals, advisory groups, and civic organizations that have worked diligently on behalf of the town. And whereas each individual recognized in Exhibit A, which is a list of all the people we're talking about, has provided some special contribution for the benefits of others, and his or her services were and are instrumental in the continued growth and success of Trophy Club Texas. Now, therefore, I do proclaim January 17, 2015 as Founders Day 2015, extending on behalf of the Town Council and all of our citizens our recognition and appreciation for the valuable contributions made by the town founders, citizens, and volunteers, and urge all citizens to participate in and support the various programs and projects planned throughout the year for our community in celebration of the town's 30th anniversary, passed and approved by the Town Council of the Town of Trophy Club, Texas, this 13th day of January 2015, signed C. Nick Sanders, Mayor, Town of Trophy Club, Texas.
I'm sitting here, or I'm standing here, watching all of you maybe get a little nervous about how long this is taking. It won't be too much longer, but we do have some important awards to hand out to a number of children. We hope you please stay with us for that. What was drawing my attention to that was I was looking back here to this beautiful cake that was on the back table, and now I can't quite see it. But Susan with Sweet Memories Catering has provided a number of sweets back there, including a birthday cake for us, and it's her donation to this event. Susan, we appreciate your contribution. Let's give her a hand of applause. So make sure you don't leave before you eat some birthday cake, okay? So we'll be there shortly if we can. At this time, I'm going to go off the script a little bit. Is my wife Linda?
Yeah, right there.
Where? She left? Okay, thank you. She's right there. Okay. Susan and Sharice, would y'all come forward, please? Come forward, please.
You're off script.
I know I'm off script.
You're off script. You give them any keys. Oh.
So on behalf of everybody at the town that appreciates all the hard work that y'all have done, give you some roses.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
And let's step out a little bit and we're going to get a picture. Step out just a little bit. Get a picture. Never mind, they don't want me to picture.
Okay, we got to get back on track.
All right, wait a minute, Susan. Wait a minute, Susan. I know you want to, but here's my concern: is that the committee worked very hard to make this happen, and I'm afraid people are going to leave before I recognize the committee. So the committee that worked on this, would you come forward real fast? We're going to get a picture of the thing, and then we'll move on to that. I'm going to introduce a famous citizen of Trophy Club. Wait a minute, I hadn't even said who his name was. What's his number? 17. His name is Tyler Collins. Now, you probably don't know anything about him if you didn't follow sports, especially baseball, right? But he's a young man who graduated from Byron Nelson. Was Byron Nelson, is that right? No, Northwest. Wait a minute. If you didn't graduate from Byron Nelson, forget it. It didn't exist. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, well, you're older than what I thought you were, but okay. But he did, he was raised in Trophy Club. His parents still live here in Trophy Club, is that right? And he's back for a short stay. And so there's a lot of memorabilia and information about him out in the room to my left. And so at this time, Tyler, come up and say just a few words, please.
Thank you. I don't know about famous. You know, I might have a few of y'all fooled, but if you know me, you know I'm really not famous. I just want to thank everybody here for thinking of me, for helping me in the way they did. I've got a quick story about how Trophy Club has helped me become the player and the person that I am today. As some of the older residents might know, there were baseball fields back behind Tom Thumb before Tom Thumb was there. It used to be woods. And there were a few fields there. I lived down the street. There was a cage there. And any given day, especially during the summer, you could have found my dad and I out there hitting baseballs in that cage. Well, one day there was a real bad flood. The creek flooded, washed those fields away. Well, I was nervous because I didn't want to have to drive all the way over to Keller or to South Lake or to Grapevine. And what Trophy Club did was they built Independence Field and they put in cages over there. And I don't think if the availability of those cages had existed, I would be the quote-unquote celebrity or even still playing baseball today. So Trophy Club has greatly influenced my life. Most of the people in this room have. If you don't know me, I'd be scared and I'd run, but no, I'm really not that. But yeah, I wouldn't be here today without them. So Trophy Club, thank you, and everybody here, thank you so much. And now it's a great honor for me to get to hand out some awards to some very privileged and special children and young adults for their success in the art community. So without further ado, I want to introduce... What do I do, actually?
So you're good, Tyler. So Sharice and I are going to help Tyler. And what we're going to do is we're going to call up any of the art students that are here this evening. Tyler's going to call their name, and Sharice and I are going to hand them their awards. Every child and adult that participated will receive something, an award standpoint, and then we will move to the first place winners, the honorable mentions, and then the gold winners, which are the best in show. Following this evening's event, the best in show, the four winners, we have note cards that Crestview Printing donated to us of these special art recipients. And you'll be able to purchase those note cards as you leave this evening. And when you see I'm sure you all saw the art outside, it is absolutely phenomenal. We had a really hard time picking the winners, which is a good thing. So Tyler's going to call the names, and for you art students, just come up as Tyler calls your name, and we'll take care of everything else. And we'll just pause in between each one.
Okay, perfect. Number one on my list here would be Miss Scarlett Barlow.
Not all of our ears, just read straight down.
Next would be Hope McDermott. Madeline Justice. Megan Connolly. Avery Michelle Lewis. Reagan Arata. Landry Pingle, Kristen Boyd, Mackenzie Arata, JC Pratchell, Caitlin Boyd, Peyton Arata, Kylie Scott, Haley Medina, Joshua Bonte, Samantha Huggard, Camille Ballard, Patrick Rogers, Justin Eiskamp, Sheepa Mohammed, Kyle Norton, Maria Camarillo, Natalie Winger, Kathy Timothy Wynn, Joseph Messias, Megan Llewellyn, Andrew Barlow, and that wraps up. Oh, okay.
Dad here.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, wait, we need
All right, a round of applause, please.
Now, out of that, we're going to do the first place winners.
Okay. Okay, now we have our first place winners. It would be Madeline Justice, Kristen Floyd, Kylie Scott, and Andrew Barlow. A round of applause again, please, for our first place winners.
So, just let them know, all of those are the note. Those are the note cards, correct?
Yes, and the Best in Show is next.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Not honorable mention.
Honorable mention's fine.
Okay.
They're not here.
Oh, then just go to best in show.
And now our gold winners, Best in Show. Kylie Scott, and Andrew Barlow.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Tyler. And where's our mayor? Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir.
So we're still handing out certificates, and while we are, just a plug. The winners of the art contest, we took their artwork and reproduced it on note cards, and so we had 4 winners in the various age groups. Is that right? That's where it was. And each of them have 3 note cards in this pack, and for $12 as you leave, all that money goes to other programs like tonight that we're going to be doing throughout the year. So all you parents, I know you want at least 10 of these, right, for your child, at least. Be using them forever, right? And so we appreciate young people, children, that you shared your talents with us, and that we'll be remembering that for many years to come as you have note cards that you can see. Thank you. You've got your certificate.
We need to do the photos of former council, former mother.
Yes. I went off script, and Susan is making me get back on script. So, what we're going to do next is we're going to ask current elected officials, both MUD and town, to come up for photographs in just a minute, and former MUD and council people that are here to come up for a photograph. But while that's happening, as long as you don't crowd up front here, we can get a picture. I want you to go enjoy some birthday cake and a bar that's provided by Republic Waste. Enjoy yourself. So elected officials, please come up. And let's give a round of applause to the committee and Susan for doing such a great job.